in our co-main event. You talk about maybe the fight of the year, but by different token, Alex Enlund, Rafael Dias could be a fight of the year for totally different reasons.
The one big question for this fight is what happens if it hits the mat? Let's talk about Alex Enlund. This young man wakes up every morning and thinks about winning. The training, the strength and conditioning, a weight cut which looked outstanding on the scales yesterday. And he takes the back like a ninja, a brilliant choke game, and Malcolm, he's a world champion, so being young and knows how to win at the highest level. But then there's Dias.
Well, that's the thing, Chris. We are talking about the wily veteran, and a veteran at the highest level. We're looking at a man, when you can mention the name Murilo Bustamante. Put this in context for us, Chris.
Look, Bustamante, who belted under Carlson Gracie, who belted under Carlos Gracie, the founder of Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. So going all the way down to Dias, that's about as good a lineage as it gets in Jiu-Jitsu for MMA. In this case, a guy who knows how to kick, punch, he's a berserker on the feet, really aggressive Muay Thai. And Malcolm, I know you were impressed watching his tape, and he's a guy who seems confident coming over from the Black Zillions with an outstanding camp behind him.
Well, this is the thing, Chris. You mentioned about the berserker, but everything he does seems to also have a hidden purpose. The transitions I saw from this man were incredible.
Sensational, but if there's transitions that have been on the winning side of things lately, that's Alex Enlund. He wrestles very well, he controls his opponent, and as we said earlier, he knows how to get the W. These two men are going to go out there and put on a show and really show off why they believe both they are the best in the world.
And you're going to be front row with us there tonight. We cannot wait.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the co-main event of the evening. This is an MMA matchup sponsored by BHP Cars. Please welcome, first up, to cage side, Rafael Dias.
Main event of Phoenix Fight Night here tonight, and one of the most eagerly anticipated matchups. And I know, Chris, Rafael Dias has got your respect, a real master of the fight game and some legendary names in his background.
Dias is a master of the mat, plain and simple. Seamless transitions all around the ring. With 11 submission victories, there's no surprises as what this guy's got in store for the crowd tonight. All the way over from the Black Zillions team, one of the very best MMA camps in the world.
So Rafael Dias is now cage side. Impossibly the fight of the night here tonight at Phoenix Fight Night at the O2. And Chris, so experienced as you said, a real test for Alex Enlund.
The Black Zillion in the house tonight here in Bournemouth, a man of international prowess. High-level submission athlete, 11 of those subs in his MMA career. Excellently upright as well, Malcolm, the guy who comes forward like a traditional Muay Thai berserker, but then will drop for the level change. Who knows what he's brought to the game tonight, but I cannot wait. It's going to be a treat for the crowd.
And his opponent, please welcome to cage side, Alex Enlund.
Now, Chris, as much as we have bigged up Rafael Dias, Alex Enlund, I know you feel is a man on a mission. You feel his time is now.
He believes this time tonight will be another step in his journey to being one of the very best in the world in this weight class. 28 years old, in his prime. The man from South Shields has had most of those wins via first round finish. He's a choke technician as well, which makes it a compelling matchup against the Murilo Bustamante black belt and Dias. I'm really curious to see what happens on the feet first and foremost.
I'm glad you said that, Chris, because we know that Dias sometimes explodes forward and looks very wild. Upright, this man has got superb balance, lovely lateral movement, and can make you look a fool if you're going to come charging at him.
He takes the back so well in those stand-up exchanges. The way he goes, usually ducking underneath and getting on the guys, unbelievable. And he's won 6 of the last 7 over the last 3 years. So another man who's been on a real run lately. But he's got a real tough test tonight, possibly a perfect test at this point in his career in Dias. The crowd totally elated to see this young man come to perform and show off in Phoenix Fight Night.
And while we're waiting for him to enter the cage, behind him there, Roy Sylvain, who is so dedicated. He has 12th of the 12th Phoenix Fight Night designer trainers on his feet, Chris.
Shows you the type of level and fanfare in the building, but it's Alex Enlund who's going to represent Phoenix. One of two men involved. Diaz versus Enlund tonight at featherweight here on Bournemouth.
Ladies and gentlemen, we get ready for the co-main event of the evening. This is an MMA matchup for 3 5-minute rounds in the professional featherweight division. This bout sponsored by BHP Cars. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, weighed in at 66¼ kilograms. He has a record of 17 wins with 11 losses and 0 draws, with 11 of those wins by submission. Representing Black Zillions from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, Rafael Dias. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, weighed in at 66.15 kilograms. He has an impressive record of 12 wins with 2 losses and 0 draws, with 10 of those wins by submission. Representing Sixth Sense MMA from South Shields, Northeast England, Alex Enlund. When the action begins, your referee in charge, Trevor Chamberlain.
So this is it, our co-main event of the evening. And it's the aging gunslinger, the man that's been there against the Billy the Kid. This is the thing. The one man will come out of this victorious, will either cement his reputation for good or be making his reputation.
The MMA icon in Diaz, the protege in Enlund. Both believe tonight is theirs. And here we go.
And both men, as you'd expect from main event status, in superb shape.
Enlund swapping up stances. I think he's going to try to get into the clinch. There we go, full plumb. Double unders though for Diaz, but a great exchange from the two as they flip around, and now Diaz on the back foot against the edge of space.
And different body shapes you can see as they're in the center of the cage here, Chris.
Absolutely. Diaz a little more stocky, but Enlund renowned for a crazy strength and conditioning program. I love the way this kid puts all the pieces together, and that really shows off when he mixes things up. Here we go. See, he's thinking about the back take or possibly an outside trip here.
Yes, and as you said, Diaz, again, one of the things that excited me so much about this is he's a man that can make the transitions. He's the man that can flow seamlessly, but Enlund there took him to ground quite comfortably, although the arm is trapped.
Inside trip, yeah, he went inside trip there. Enlund was using a lot of head pressure to think about ducking underneath the arm, but he wants nothing to do with the crazy jiu-jitsu of Diaz. Look at that, standing up, a lot of hip pressure there, holding onto the legs, looking up and avoiding anything bad early. Jumps on the back.
Chris, that was from 2 solid right hands that he landed there. Alex Enlund landed 2 solid right hands to get in this position.
And on the back of Diaz early. This is what I wanted to see. The fanboy in me wanted to see these two grapple, and an early opportunity for Alex Enlund. Full seatbelt control, and looks to maneuver around. Diaz is going to try to scramble hard here and get back up, but he's got to protect his neck because Enlund can end this one instantly.
Yes, he's like a spider the way he's wrapped around Diaz there. The body shape difference. When he's the longer, taller man in this position at the back, does it help?
It's a leverage advantage for sure. Look at that. All the way underneath the chin. Going full figure 4. Enlund, this is his move. This is where he makes his money. But look at that. Diaz tucks the chin, turns into the choke. Beautiful recovery from Rafael Diaz.
Yes, as you'd expect from a man of his experience and status. But at the moment, Enlund, as you said, living up to his reputation as a man really on the up.
Breaking the posture down as Diaz recovers a nice high guard here. Closed guard now. This is going to be very interesting. It's still pretty early in the fight. Both guys are going to have some good traction. And Diaz is top of the food chain jiu-jitsu.
Now, when you mentioned that, Chris, you mentioned the fact that, you know, he's real old school jiu-jitsu as well. Will that make a difference to the way he approaches being on his back? compared to some of the more recent BJJ exponents in modern MMA?
Well, he hasn't tried to get up to his feet just yet. I was thinking he'd want to try to be on top for this, but right now, he's going to look to sneak something in. Maybe he's going to try to stand up here. I can't quite tell. There we go. He kicks away, and now he stands up.
Oh, but he ships some vicious right hands from Enlund in the meantime.
And the key strategy now is going to be for Enlund to avoid wild exchanges.
Oh,
because
you say that, he took two. Oh, he's stunned, he's stunned. These right hands and lefts, and then the knees of Enlund. Just as you said that, just as you gave the warning signs, Enlund was stunned by those punches.
And look at the choke from Dias, arm in. Gonna be tough to finish here, though. I think he's cut over his left eyebrow. Look at that, look at the torque on Enlund's neck. And Enlund fighting for his legacy here, wrenches his head out. Brilliant work from Alex Enlund.
And Chris, you feel he'll need time to recover here because he shipped left and right. You're dead right, it's the left eye in those exchanges of Dias that is cut. But he rocked Alex Enlund with those punches.
Big time, and went for the choke. He thought he had it on. He had it good underneath the chin, but not enough leverage from half guard to finish. Especially up against the fence, it's going to be tough to finish an arm in choke like that.
And Enlund's recovery is impressive here.
And look at that, he went in, realized one arm was in jeopardy. The triangle was on the cards for Dias. Enlund recovers, full guard now for Dias. And then we'll see some hand fighting here. Watch for Dias to try to spring up to his feet or set up another submission. Omoplata, can't get it. Inverts, gets underneath, back to an open guard for Dias. This is what I'm talking about. This guy has the jiu-jitsu skills to be able to do these maneuvers in MMA where strikes are involved, where the consequences of going upside down like that can be absolutely dire.
And with 10 seconds left, I thought that Alex Enlund was in total control. We had that blast at the end from Dias, but for me, across the full 5 minutes, I'm still looking at the man in the red corner for taking the points.
But Dias rocked him a couple of times on the feet, and that shows the wild man in him. Shows the power, shows the way he creates that torque. On the flip side, though, the fact that Enlund was able to get on his back during that round has to be a real feather in his cap early, particularly against a guy who's such a high-level grappler in Dias, Malcolm. That's a statement.
And the speed of recovery as well. He was rocked. He was taken down. And I think for a moment there you thought that would be the beginning of the end, but he recovered superbly.
Look, as I said before this fight, this kid dreams of winning nonstop. This is what he lives and breathes. He wants nothing more than to prove that he's the very best in the world in this weight class. And tonight, this is a big opportunity to do so. Let's see what happens in round number 2.
Round 2.
So both men have been severely tested in the first and both not found wanting. And is this the technical contest you were hoping for, Chris?
100%. The grappling for MMA being shown off. Look at that. And Enlund sweeps him. Incredible.
Yes, it was initiated by Rafael, and Alex Enlund turns that around.
Rafael could play half guard here. He's going to sit back and probably look to get guard back. He was grapevined in with his right leg. Enlund realizes this. Enlund might actually trap him here and sit up and throw some punches. Curious to see whether Enlund looks for the pass or looks for the ground and pound here.
And Rafael seems to be aware of this, looking, as I said, I was impressed watching him during the week with his transitions, but Enlund, they're talking to each other there, Chris. Enlund smiled as Rafael shook his head with a big grin.
These guys are as game as it gets on the ground. I mean, Enlund's got Artist Suave tattooed underneath his arm. So if you think Dias is the only one who loves BJJ, there's visual cue on Enlund if you're not sure about that.
And what I love about Enlund, as you said, he's always willing to soften his man up. He's looking for the strikes, but he can transition to something else almost immediately.
And Enlund can go the distance too. If this one goes all the way, we've seen him push the pace before.
Yes, he's been 5 rounds and looked very fit doing it as well.
Tonight he's doing the right thing, at least in this bout, to maintain position at all times. But Dias is dangerous. He's got that trump up the sleeve irregardless.
And this is key for both men here, isn't it? Because it's making a statement as well as everything technical. You've always mentioned the emotional and mental side of MMA as well, and that is such a battle in its own right.
Absolutely, and Diaz now trying to isolate an arm here. I'm not sure what he's doing. He may want to get back guard. He's going to swap to an overhook with his left arm. And wait for the scramble. Enlund using a lot of head pressure here to try to flatten him down, keep his shoulders pinned to the mat. Diaz can't shrimp so easily then. And look at this, Enlund, a lot of shoulder pressure here, will try to pass. Doesn't think it's possible. So then he reverts to just staying heavy. And they were going to get a stand-up. Not enough action. I think that's a good stand-up. I'm of the opinion.
Oh,
put
what's
a guy.
that?
I'm of
Diaz,
the opinion.
his muscle's gone. This muscle's gone. Something's gone in Diaz's leg. Is it cramp or is it something worse?
I'm not sure. It looks to me like Diaz may have had knee surgery in the past. And I can't tell what's occurred here. His hamstring. He's talking about his hamstring, Malcolm.
Oh, this is so unfortunate. Alex Enlund showing nothing but concern for his opponent, but it was shaping up so nicely. I could see how absorbed you were in this one, Chris.
Incredible. Two high-level guys in MMA taking risks and really going for it. Neither able to achieve a shutout on the ground. I'm not sure what's transpired. He's talking about his hamstring.
He went to move away, he fell over, he went to get up again and fell over again and was in obvious pain, Chris. And Alex Enlund, at first there was like the frustration, no, the fight's over. Then nothing but concern for his opponent.
Well, we're going to have to take a look at what the doctor's decision here tonight in Phoenix. A very unfortunate turn of events. Enlund shrugs and walks off. What a great fight that was shaping up to be.
This round ended 2 minutes 43 seconds of the second round due to a fighter in the blue corner unable to continue from injury. So your winner in the red corner, Alex Enlund.
I'm here with Alex Enlund. Alex, what a fight that was shaping up to be. Two high-level grapplers in MMA. You guys showed some beautiful transitions. This was not the ending of the fight that you wanted.
No, it wasn't. I believe I was completely dominant in the fight, and the finish was only a matter of time. I always look for the finish. All my fights bar one, which was my fight for the Cage Warriors World title, went the distance. I'm a finisher. I've finished 12 opponents now, one season, I think, something like that. But I always try to finish fights, and despite Rafael being a black belt, I was going to try and finish him too. I was going to get the chance, I'm going to squeeze his neck. You know, it doesn't matter to me.
Obviously, one of your weapons of choice being that rear naked choke, you snuck your right arm all the way underneath his chin and grasped the back of his shoulder. That was close, but he turned into it really nicely. Did you think that was nearly the end of the fight there?
No, I didn't. He took his chin quite well, you know. He's proud, like all BJJ guys are. I knew it was going to be very, very hard to submit him, but I was willing to squeeze his face and break his neck. Anything to get the finish, you know. I'm the best grappler in the UK for MMA. Maybe Europe, maybe eventually the world, you know. I will be the number one featherweight in the world in time to come. I was a little bit greedy striking-wise for the finish. I'd seen him being finished before, and the way I see it would make big money. Unfortunately, I think we've got to be knocking people out. But I got maybe a bit greedy because my striking's getting better and better and better, and I'm out-striking world-class guys when I train with them. And I just want to show it a little bit more. But maybe I should stick with what gets us to the dance, you know, and just finish everybody. And when it happens, I'll be world number one day because I'll finish short of this.
Alex, you showed off everything that you've worked on. We look forward to seeing you here again in Phoenix. Best of luck to you, sir. Alex Enlund, ladies and gentlemen.